You sports fans out there, do you know how they'll always say, this team looks good on paper, but they don't reflect that on the field? Like, in other words, they underachieve. The stats and the names, everything looks great. They look like a championship team. The roster looks like a championship team. The numbers they put up in the past looks like that of a Hall of Fame squad. And you say, this team is going to go all the way. This team is going to win a championship. But then when they actually play the games on the field, they don't. They don't, they don't bring to life what it looked like on paper, right? Well, the reason why I'm bringing that analogy up, I love sports anyway, but here's the thing. When we make choices, okay, you can make a choice that may look good on paper. And when I say on paper is an earthly thing. From an earthly perspective, you made the right choice. But from the higher perspective, you did not. Vice versa happens a lot, where it looks like you may have made the wrong choice on paper. Why did they do that? What's up with that? But when it comes to the highest purpose, you made the right choice. Perfect example of that, the latter. Let's say that you start a relationship with someone who, on paper, looks like a great fit, and, on paper, you guys look great. The perfect couple and all this other stuff. But from the highest level, it's not serving your highest good. Like, whether it be a toxic thing or it turns toxic, it wasn't for your highest good. But here's the funny part. Even if you don't make the best choice from the highest way, the highest level, this is where the higher level always wins out. Your true self, your higher self, the universe always wins out, because it will wind up turning into a lesson for you. Okay? So in the end, it turns into the right choice. Okay? Just like on the opposite way, let's say you start a relationship, or a friend of yours, let's say, starts a relationship with somebody, and everyone's like, what? Why are they with them? What? And they start bringing up the past and like, oh, they're toxic and da-da-da, whatever. Oh, but no, you don't understand, all that, So on paper, it doesn't look like they made the right choice. However, at the highest level, they had a lesson to learn. Or a cycle that kept getting repeated was still needed to be learned. So this relationship, this toxic, or what looks like on paper to be a bad relationship, turns out to be for the highest good, in that the person learns, hopefully learns, how to get out of it, how to not allow those things to happen, how to become a stronger advocate for themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. They think at the beginning, oh, it's going to be great. No one likes that we're doing this, but we know what we're doing, and da-da-da. I know what I'm doing. But what is said about that other person comes to fruition later, after the love bombing and all that is done, right? And the other person has to decide, okay, am I going to learn from this? Or am I going to keep repeating this cycle? So again, I hope that made sense. And I'm using the relationship scenario because that seems to be where it's most frequent, where you could make what looks like the right choice on paper, but at the highest level, you're really not. And there are times where it looks like you're making the wrong choice on paper, but in the end, you are making the right choice. And another thing, it doesn't always have to be that way. Maybe the other person who's supposed to be the toxic one is learning too. Maybe they're both becoming better people. So who knows? But yeah, it's very possible that you may not make a choice that on paper looks great, but there's a higher reason for it, or the other way around, where you make a choice that looks wonderful on paper, looks perfect on paper, but in reality it's not. So it goes both ways. But again, like I said, even if in the highest way it's not, it turns into that because you wind up eventually having to learn from it anyway, right? So that's how the universe works, okay? But it's up to us to heed the signs and to learn the lessons and to not keep repeating that cycle, So, hope that made sense. Later.